Coming to you live from our studio in Atlanta, Georgia, this is the A1 Trading Daily Show. Whether markets are rising or falling, we're here to keep you up to date with the latest market news. Join us as we trade currencies, commodities, and indices live, Monday through Friday.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another live stream. Hope y'all are having a great day so far. We are going to check out the market heat map really quickly before we jump into the charts with Nick. The market heat map, of course, is our part of the Edge Finder that shows us how all of our assets are doing so far today. It's getting updated on a 15-minute interval. And because of that, we can see how all of our assets are trending so far today. Right up here towards the top, I can see USDJPY, USDZAR, and CAD-JPY as our three biggest movers to the upside so far today. USDJPY being the biggest mover so far, up just 0.56%. And then down here towards the bottom, we have NZDUSD, GBPUSD, Euro USD, and even Aussie USD. So lots of US dollar movement in the market today. NZDUSD being the biggest mover to the downside, down 0.73% on the day. All right, with that, we're going to jump into the markets with Nick. But before we do, I want to thank our three amazing sponsors, 8Cap, Forex Tester, and Superfunded, for sponsoring today's stream. We could not do it without their support. And you can find out more about those three down in the links in the description below. But let's go ahead and join with Nick right now.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for that introduction, James, and hope everybody is doing well this morning. It's an interesting start to the week, or I'm sorry, to the day. This week has been sort of a back and forth one, but it seems like we've got some decisiveness from the dollar now. At least I should say so far today. The dollar has been really all over the place. If we take a look at DXY, you can see it's finally sort of start to found it's found its bearings, if you will, and it seems like the bull trend is back in play. We have seen a bottom come into this market. You can see here is that early this week portion where we found a bottom and price has been rallying since then, and we're pretty long biased here at the dollar at A1 Trading. We've been pretty heavily looking to get long on the dollar. I have a trade open myself. This is my current update. I am currently still long USDJPY. This is my only trade open right now. On the short-term perspective. So you can see I'm floating a good little profit here. The dollar really finding its bearings, like I said, especially against the yen, where basically we retested some support here. And I decided to get long. I talked about this in yesterday's video. And since then, we've really seen some continuation, which is fantastic for the dollar yen bulls. Congrats to anybody else who is on the dollar long side. We got it a little early. I was a little early this week with my euro short, but things seem to be catching up to us now with a nice trade to the upside there for the dollar yen. Again, my entry down in this point, I called this one out inside of our Discord channel. And if you're not inside of our Discord channel already, let me pause and remind you guys, as we get started in the stream, take 2 seconds. Make sure to join the Discord channel if you have not already. It's linked down below in the description, but it's also going to be dropped in the chat for you. Our wonderful producers behind the scenes just dropped a link for you down in the chat, or if on your phone it's down, if on your computer it's to the right of you. Either ways, click that link, fill out that form, and you can join our Discord channel, where you can get access to daily free ideas and analysis and PDFs that could be helpful to you in your trading. It's a good time over there, so make sure to join the Discord if you have not already. So I called out dollar yen specifically yesterday, or was it yesterday? I'm trying to remember where exactly I took the trade. Let me check. Dollar yen yesterday. Yeah, I took it yesterday just before stream and ended up seeing some continuations here. Dollar yen looking really healthy this morning from my initial entry, now floating a nice profit. And I'm looking for a chance now to trail stops. We had this 4-hour candle close outside of resistance. This is big for dollar yen bulls. This supply zone or resistance zone has now broken out, and we probably should assume that this level could act as support. Would I buy it up here? It's a little bit of a, it's already sort of made its run in my view. For me at this point, it's looking to sort of trail stops. It's looking to moderate my position from here. I have my stop loss still below the lows. I've been holding on loosely to this trade. I am considering either moving stops to break even or looking to trail a bit tighter, though I don't want to just tighten my stop too much just before price could just do a little bit of movement around before shooting again to the upside. So I am still bullish on the dollar yen. I think it has more upside. At this morning, we were floating around $2,200. So we've given back a little bit of that profit, but should continue to see this thing hold to the upside. So, we've broken through key resistance up top. I'm looking for this thing to not necessarily. The thing is with stop losses, right? If you trail your stop too tight, you run the risk of just getting whipped out of a very normal pullback before a continuation. So I don't necessarily want to do that. So for me personally, what I'm looking to do is at the very least, I think it's probably fair that I move my stop loss to break even and just compromise with that for starters. So I'm going to go ahead and modify my position. I just did that here on camera. So let me take one moment to write this up for members inside of the group. At everyone, I'm moving my stop loss. Let me pull this on the screen so you guys can see what I'm working with. I'm moving my stop loss to break even on USDJPY. Really strong mover this morning, locking in the trade risk-free after the recent break of the high on the 4-hour chart. Okay, for those of you guys who are already inside of the Discord, you can just check out if you want to keep up to date with my trades. It's under Nick's trades here under trade alerts. You can see Frank's, Ivan's, and myself, all the trades that we're taking and the breakdowns behind them inside of the group if you're not already in there. Like I said, we dropped a link in the chat. It's also in the description if you're interested. So that's where I'm at. With this dollar yen trade. So I'm going to at least move my stop loss to break even here, just in case price decides to completely fall apart. But like I said, I liked the way we were able to close outside here, but I just don't want to trail my stop too tight as price is just sort of pulling back into consolidation for the time being. So that's where I'm at with that. USDJPY monthly looks like this thing wants to run. Good luck on the USDJPY trade, Nick. Thank you so much, Ryan. Appreciate you on that. We'll see if the markets are going to continue trending higher. When it comes to trading, a lot of times people account a lot of the ability to call their trades to skill. And there is an essence of luck with trading. It's kind of weird to say, but you never know what you're going to get with each trade because markets can do some crazy, erratic, unexpected things. So I'm long dollar yen. If I'm fortunate and hold on to this trade tightly, I might be able to catch a really big runner here. Do I think that that's what's going to happen? Maybe the conditions favor a bullish run, and that's why I'm long. But I'm just trailing stops from here. So that is my current trade. Hey, Nick, I was in a GJ sell. I just closed and switched to the buy. Check it out on the 4-hour at the 61.8%. Yeah, what's going on with pound yen? That one was super hot yesterday. You were in a sell, and yeah, look at that. It came down quite a bit from its highs up at 165, 166 even, tagged 166 and has plummeted since there. Yeah, very interesting to see that one. Drawing from swing low to swing high here, you've got this sort of fib going on, retesting support here this morning. Very interesting. 163.04 looks like an interesting area for possible longs. But I don't actually love this chart. I'm going to be completely honest with you because I don't think it has edge finder confirmation right now. I'm just going to double check. Yeah, no, it doesn't have any confirmation from the edge finder. Unless nope, it's not on there. So the reason for that is because it doesn't have enough of these categories sorting towards or pointing towards a bullish bias. When we get that scenario where lots of things point towards bullishness, we could take, for example, USD CAD. USD CAD has a lot of factors pointing towards a bullish case scenario for this pair. And look what's been happening. This thing has been trending beautifully. This is a chart that I'd like to be predominantly long on. And again, going back to USD CAD, let's break this one down really quick. So if we pull up major pairs, we look at dollar CAD. Dollar CAD +8 score. COT data, this is institutional money, is long USD. It's short the Canadian dollar. Retail traders are shorting this pair. So that's a bullish signal, right? We take a look at seasonality. The month of March is historically positive for this pair. dollar CAD looks like a really strong, solid buy. The only reason I like dollar yen a little bit more is because it pays a positive swap on my broker. So I like that. If you guys are looking to trade positive swaps, if you're familiar with that, you know how when you have swap payments on your account, like you get debited for holding overnight, you can actually get paid positively to hold certain pairs long. And if you're not familiar with that, I've got 2 brokers in the description that I recommend for that. One of them is the sponsor of this stream, 8cap. If you use that link down below, that's the best one in my opinion for out of the states traders. So if you're in other parts of the world, consider, if you want to help out the stream, consider using that link down below. 8cap is linked there. If you use that link, it's going to help out the channel, and I'd really appreciate it. So if you don't have to, but if you're interested, you can do that. But they offer some really great swap rates and things like that. So anyways, that looks really good. Overall trend reading to the upside. You've got economic numbers favoring the US in 3 of the 4 categories. The only one we're missing is inflation. So overall, we get a strong bias to the upside on things like dollar CAD, and a pullback opportunity on this one, in my opinion, would be really great for long side action, continuing this upward trend until it breaks, right? If it breaks, if the trend bends, as they say, right, we change gears and we are out of there. But for now, momentum favors the bulls. I'm looking to be predominantly long on this stuff. So I've been selling a lot of USD, maybe too much. Yeah, dollar. Ooh, that's a tough trade right now. Dollar's really red hot. This thing trending very well to the upside. Overall, predominantly myself, I'm looking to be long dollar as much as I can account for in my risk management plan, if you will. You still get free Edge Finder with $1,000 new account with 8cap. You do get Kara. We'll go over that in just a second. James, can you give me a thumbs up if we're doing 8cap? Okay, yeah, we're doing 8cap. So in just a second, guys, I'll tell you about that. In fact, we might just need to go do that. Go do that now. We just had a good conversation about that. If you guys are interested in the Edge Finder, there is a way you can get access for free with 8cap. So right now, James is going to give us a little information on that. Stay tuned. Check it out.
That's right, guys. Today's stream is sponsored by 8cap, and 8cap is an award-winning regulated broker that gives traders a better trading experience. If you choose to trade with 8cap, you'll be able to trade CFDs like gold, Forex pairs, cryptos, indices, and more. Additionally, their spreads are razor thin. They offer up to a 500-to-1 leverage, and their customer support is top-notch. One very cool feature is that they've recently partnered up with TradingView.com, which means that you can do all of your trading through 8cap directly on TradingView. If you're a fan of the channel, 8cap has partnered up with the A1 trading community to give out free Edge Finder. So all you have to do to get your free copy of the Edge Finder is sign up with 8cap and deposit $1,000 or more into your trading account, and then let us know once you have completed that. Click the link in the description to find out more. 8cap is the best in the business, and that's why we are proud to be sponsored by them. Click the link in the description to find out more. Sign up with 8cap, deposit $1,000 or more, and get the Edge Finder for free. And I actually have the 8cap Magic 8 Ball. So we're going to shake this, sponsored by 8cap, not financial advice though. And we're going to see what does the 8cap Magic 8 Ball have to say for Nick. It says Nick will take profit. You probably won't be able to see that, but Nick takes profit today. So let's see if Nick can find any profitable trades today. According to 8cap, it looks like he will. All right, Nick, back to you.
All right, and thanks, James, for that. Hey, that's a good fortune. At least it's not saying I'm going to take any losses today. Speaking of profitable trades, maybe James is on to something with his 8cap. He did the little magic 8 ball. Maybe 8cap is on to something, because we've got a profitable trade still running on dollar yen. This trading signal we shared yesterday in the Discord channel is running hot. Full transparency though, we took that euro trade. That euro trade did not work out, right? We took shorts over here, price jumped, stopped out. And now had I held on to trade, it'd be back to break even. But fortunately, I was able to catch that dollar yen trade. I shared that in my trade video yesterday. And so far, so good. We'll see if that can continue to run hot. I found this trade off of the Edge Finder. Like I said, the dollar yen. Showing up as a strong buy here. You can see getting a +6 score. COT data, so big money is long dollar yen. Retail sentiment, the crowd is short dollar yen. Seasonality points towards positive float in the month of March, meaning that historically, and let's go look at that in a closer view. A lot of you guys have had a lot of questions about seasonality recently. We've been getting some comments and stuff on the channel. If you guys don't have access to the seasonality feature, this one I don't believe is on the free version, but in a second I'll show you the free version stuff. You can take a look at like your favorite pairs. For example, if I'm looking at dollar yen, which right now is of course my favorite pair because I'm trading it, and it's one of my favorite dollar crosses. The month of March historically has a tendency to rise. Now, how does that work? Well, we took the last 5 and 10 years of market performance for each asset, specifically like dollar yen, and we basically jumbled it up and we said, what's the average? What does it tend to do? And you can see that during the month of March, we typically historically have seen the dollar yen rise. Part of the reason why I'm long on dollar yen right now. Now, this feature is not available in the free version, but let me take a second to show you guys something that is available in the free version, and no strings attached. Literally, you can get access to some of our data for 100% free. All you have to do, we're going to drop a link in the chat. Thank you. They're already doing it down below. So while you're watching, click this link. Pull it up in another browser, whatever. If you fill out the form, you get access to a bunch of our free stuff. We have the Edge Finder Pro, which gives you all the data, but we have a limited version that is available now for free. All you have to do is fill out the form that we just dropped. And one of the things that you get is this stuff, the retail positioning, which is probably the most popular page on the free Edge Finder. It allows you to see what retail traders are buying and selling so that you can be better equipped and maybe avoid being on the wrong side of some of those trades. So if I was to look at, for example, just dollar yen, what dollar yen is showing us here is that we have 36% of retail traders are long, while 64% of retail traders are short on USDJPY. That is meaningful because if we know the crowd is piled into a trade, if all the traders, are over here and they are just they're shorting. Retail traders are sort of a target in some cases for bigger institutions, people who are like, hey, that's easy money. If we just push this thing a little bit higher, we could probably grab some retail trader stop loss, thing like that, right? So if you understand and isolate that information, which you can do completely for free with the Edge Finder free version, it might be useful to you. So fill out that form. The link is in the chat. So don't miss out on that. But yeah, part of the reason why I'm currently long dollar yen is because the crowd is very short biased on it. And so that's an interesting little piece of information. Can you see gold? Yeah, let's take a look at gold here. Pull up gold here this morning. I think gold, I mentioned this yesterday, I think gold has a little bit of room to squeeze up to this point to maybe retest 1844. But overall, I don't have a strong bias on gold right now. I don't think that the Edge Finder gives us any. Yep, no, it doesn't. In fact, yeah, there's no mention of gold on the screen. If I add the neutrals to the list, you can see gold is just, it's in here. It has a -2. So it doesn't really have a strong bias either way. So I have no interest in trading gold at this time. I like to trade things, if you think about it in a simple format, I like to trade things that have a lot of bias one way or the other. Lots of things telling me why this could be bullish. Lots of things telling me why this thing could be bearish. And isolating, only trading these things when they present themselves. That's how we trade with Confluence at an automated level where it's a lot easier to do and you don't have to spend like countless hours pulling up information and trying to do research. So yeah, that is where we're at. SPX 500, NASDAQ, and US 30 all printing sell biases here. Let's go look at SPX 500 for the indices traders. You can see this thing continues to just plummet lower and lower. Very bearish market here. Crumbling back underneath that 4,000 mark and really struggling to catch a bounce at all. So for the indices traders, if you're short-term trading this sort of thing, in my opinion, it looks short bias. I don't like to short the indices personally. I prefer to be on the long side of them. So what I'd be looking for is some sort of break the other direction, but currently looking very, very weak. And even retesting this looks like it could offer some sell side opportunities for the bears. Looking at things like SPX 500 this morning, I mean, this just in general looks very, very weak. So maybe a 38.2% retracement could be of interest, right? Just looking for any sort of pop to potentially sell into and continue lower. So yeah, NZDCAD looking good. Let's look at NZDCAD. Is there, I don't know if this one has bias. It does. Edgefinder has a positive bias on NZDCAD. So let's do this one really quick. So we're going to pull up NZD-CAD on the Edge Finder. See what we can find. So we get a bullish bias. Month of March, historically positive. We just entered March, so that's an interesting signal. Big money, long NZD, short CAD. Retail traders, short NZD CAD as it rises. Yeah, this is an interesting contender. I mean, looking at this chart too, this technical chart looks really nice. So pulled back to the 38.2% retracement and hitting this area here as well. So, hey, that actually looks like a decent trade. NZD CAD on the long side, again, has confirmation from the Edge Finder. So we get a +5 buy rated pair. And again, if we go look at specifically that seasonality tab again, if I go to NZD CAD, did I pass it already? Yes, I did. Let's look at only NZD CAD. So NZD CAD has, if I look at it, once it loads, we can look at the historical month-to-month performance, and it seems to be having some slow issues loading the data here this morning. That's very weird. I wonder if NZD CAD, is it just NZD CAD or is the seasonality thing being worked on? It is definitely possible that we're doing some maintenance on it. So yeah, it seems like some pairs are working fine. Pound USD. Yeah, definitely being worked on. Usually when the Edge Finder, if you guys have the Edge Finder, if something loads slow, it usually means that data is being worked on. So that's a little pro tip for that. Trading with Confluence is at an automated level. That's kind of cool. It sure is, Robinhood. Robinhood in the chat. How much is the Edge Finder Pro? We have different options, Living Lavish. So there's Edge Finder Pro is like the full everything included. We do one-time prices. If you have questions about it, feel free to go to our website, a1trading.com. You can browse all the different. So we have different pricing options available, so you can check them out there. And if you have any questions, let me show you guys. If you guys ever want to chat with us, have some sales reps who are available to help you anytime. If you have questions about our products, you just go right here. See this little button and chat with us, and one of our support reps will help you out. They're on the site in case you have questions about our data, in case you need help with something. If you already have the Edge Finder, you can reach out there, etc. So yeah. Caution on DXY. Let's look. Still, I mean, still looks strong to me. Maybe a little bit of a pullback here, and could reverse. Don't get me wrong, but right now, bias is still to the upside, still looking very healthy for dollar bulls, in my opinion. Nick check CHF JPY. Yeah, this one had a signal from the Edge Finder on the long side recently. Let's take a look at this. This chart sold off initially, has been rebounding a little bit, but overall still trending to the upside. So we'll see if that one goes. I don't personally love trading Swiss yen. That's just not my favorite pair personally. NZDJPY gets a +6. Very interesting. Let's go look at that one. NZDJPY. Big pop to the upside. This would be a very interesting one on a retest. If you got something like this to come back into play. Fibs, that looks like a 50% retracement looks really interesting here. Yeah, and that's past resistance, could turn support. I get the question oftentimes, people ask me like, Nick, do you really need to look at outside data? Can you just trade purely technicals? And many traders would say yes. And I would say it's possible. You don't necessarily like have to look at other things. But personally, where I really found a lot of like the profitability that I have came from using the full picture. And that's why we built the Edge Finder. Before I ever had the software tool, I would just do it all by hand, and it would take me so long to get the information that I wanted onto like an Excel spreadsheet. I used to do it manually, and it took me so long. So that's why we have been designing the Edge Finder over the last year or so to automate and pull in that data, allow traders to see the full picture, not just the chart. Because everyone can just look at a chart and say, oh, this is a pullback. But is there actually a good reasoning to buy this asset? Sure, there's a pretty chart pattern, but is that all you need to trade profitably? In my opinion, I think I need a little bit more. I need to understand, well, what does big money think? Are the big banks buying this thing? Because that's going to give liftoff to an asset like this. And the question is, Are retail traders buying this thing, or are they selling this thing? Are they shorting? Are they stuck in a short trade? Because that could be useful information. What are the economic strength and weakness points of these two currencies, New Zealand versus Japan? Understanding the full picture gives you way more confluence and allows me to find trades that give me more confidence and more checkpoints where I'm like, okay, yes, there's a reason for me to be buying. There's a reason for me to be selling. I'm not just guessing what the market's going to do completely, right? That's kind of how we approach using our software in tandem with technical charts. So yeah, please view USDCHF. Dollar Swiss looking really good here. Dollar Swiss is available actually on the free version. If you guys trade with Dollar Swiss, if you go to the free version of the Edge Finder, which we dropped the link, we'll drop it one more time in the chat. If you guys want access to the free version of our software data, we're going to drop a link there. In the free version of the Edge Finder, if you go to major currency pairs and you click on USDCHF, that one is available for free. So you can get full access to Dollar Swiss data with the free version that we just dropped the link to it. So let's see. The link is also in the description in case we don't get it dropped. And did I miss it? I don't think we've dropped it just yet. It'll be there in a second. There it is. Nice. So Dollar Swiss specifically has a really strong interest from institutional money because institutional money, very long dollar and very short Swiss franc. Retail traders are very short this currency pair. Economic figures favor dollar, Swiss, dollar. So there's kind of mixed sentiment there. But overall, we get a +6 buy signal. And this one has been bullish for the last 2 weeks or so. So this one's been really, really a good call out. Still just looks really healthy. I mean, I would be interested in buying this one if I didn't already have dollar yen. How's my dollar yen trade doing? Let's go check. Pulling back still, trying to find support here off of the 136.62 mark. This level, I've got my stop at break even. Like I said, we'll see if we can hold this one. If this one can continue to put in higher highs, higher lows, we'll just keep following that and trailing stops. Is super funded available to U.S. residents since it's powered by ACAP? That's actually a good question, Mike. I don't know. I'm not sure if it is. I'm not sure. Nick, EU just left you again after hit your stop loss. Yeah, it did. Euro dollar. The dollar trade I'm still in. So I was able to catch dollar yen, which I actually wanted even more than euro dollar. So I'm glad that I was able to get it. I got it off this candle. So even though the euro trade didn't work out, euro dollar, the long idea on the dollar, I'm still able to be in because I caught that dollar yen trade. At this point, we have a stop locked into break even. So can't lose money on this trade, but seeing if we can catch a rally further would be nice. So that's kind of where I'm at with this one. So far looking good. Any view on pound USD? No, I'm pretty neutral on pound USD. I think the chart, unless it breaks lower, if it breaks underneath here, if you get something like this, then you start peaking interest there, I think.
We got Miko coming, but our emails are going through.
Oh,
So we'll get him his link, but
okay.
We're in contact with him in the chat. So.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. We're sorting out some things on the back end, guys. Just for our next guest who's coming in, Chandler just let me know we're having some email issues. But Miko should be coming on soon. You guys, if you're watching on the stream regularly, you probably know Miko. He's awesome. We'll see if we can get him in here pretty soon. Pound USD, like I said, we're looking for some sort of breakout to the downside in order to see continuation sells, but currently pretty just stuck in this range. When's Miko joining? Should be in the next few minutes. Views on German 30. I'll look at it. I don't trade German 30. But recently it's been very strong overall with the last few weeks, however, just sort of turning into a choppy back and forth. But you can see, I mean, this thing was just flying for the end of 2022 and starting into 2023. What I find interesting about this is that German 30 is pretty close to being back to the highs, 7% away, let's call it, from being back to all-time highs, which is very, very crazy to me, considering, the S&P 500 has also recovered a little bit, but we are still 23% away from all-time highs. So kind of interesting to see that. Could you check NZD CAD? We already talked about NZD CAD on the stream here. It looks bullish in my view. It has edge finder confirmation. It's sort of broken out to the upside here. So this downward structure seems to have broken. I think there's a decent risk reward to the upside. I just don't like the trade enough to add it to my roster, as I already have that USDJPY trade live that I'm managing that we called out in the Discord channel. So, and I moved my stop loss to break even on UJ this during this stream, actually about 20 minutes ago. So cool. Haven't received. Miko's in the chat. He said he hasn't received the link. Okay, got it. He should be on his way in, which is awesome. Looking forward to having Miko on. Let's do one last check on the stream, see where we leave you guys with that dollar yen trade. We'll see, man. Well, I've been trying to catch this dollar trade for a while. We'll see if we can catch a bit of a runner. So far, a good start with this pullback happening this morning. We'll watch to see if that pullback turns into a full-blown reversal and if I just take a break-even trade, or if we're able to actually catch the continuation. But yeah, stops are locked for me, so I'm not going to take a loss on this one, but I also don't want to trail too tight until we get a sort of a higher high, higher low concept going. So how are you feeling about NZDUSD? I don't really like that one personally because we're getting some bullishness. If we go to the watch list, we get some bullish concepts on NZDUSD. I'm sorry, on NZD. So we get sell, but it's like the weakest of the link because you've got the dollar very strong and the NZD also very strong. So I don't love the idea of crossing the two. I'd rather just go long something else, dollar, like dollar yen, dollar Swiss, and then short something else like euro dollar. You know, that's just personally. I don't love NZD USD personally right now. So not to say that there's no trade setups that you can't get. It's just for me, my strategy. That's just nothing really setting up this morning. Speaking of different strategies, now we'll turn and we'll bring in, he made it to the stream. Let's say hello to Miko. What's going on, Miko?
What is up, Nick? What is up? I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, good, good. Sorry for the confusion this morning. I think we had some email troubles or issues, but were they able to email it to you, or how did you get the link?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just that I didn't get the email, so I tried to make some noise in the chat. Didn't really do a good job,
Gotcha.
but yeah, I've got the link now, so all good.
Cool. You're here. That's all that matters. Good to have you back. If you guys aren't familiar with Miko, he comes on once a week to the stream, does some technical chart breakdowns. He's a swing trader. He looks at all sorts of different assets and a lot of ones that I don't look at as often. So he, of course, does the big ones, the euro, gold, S&P, that sort of stuff. But then adds some other ones to the mix as well. So Miko, I'm going to go ahead and leave you, take over the stream for a little bit, do your thing. Before I step out, I want to remind people that they can check out your content. We're going to drop a link in the chat for people who want to go follow you on YouTube. Miko's got some great content over there. Make sure to go check him out and subscribe to his channel. Miko, have a great stream. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you. So good to be back. Hope everyone is doing good. I'll go through some pairs that I'm looking at for the rest of the week. Today's Thursday already, but I'll look at some pairs looking for the rest of the week and go over some trades I'm in. I'm currently in 2 positions, so I'll go through that as well and go through some pairs that I think are shaping up really, really nicely for next week. So any pairs, any comments you want to discuss, just leave it down in the chat. I'll hop to it eventually. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing good. So yeah, I'm currently in 2 positions. One on pound USD, which is looking decent. We've just gone and slammed into this level of support. So it's seen some reaction, which would be expected. The market is obviously respecting that level a couple of times now, once and twice. So I would expect to see some type of bounce from that. But the true, the main target half of this one is down at 1.185. So I'm looking for a push into these lows. We've had this massive double top pattern all the way up here, and we've kind of had a slow, steady descend into that low, or I'm expecting us to descend into that low. We haven't had it yet. So still a bit more downside I'm expecting for pound USD. Bearish bias for this one, quite bullish on the dollar. So most dollar pairs, I would have dollar being the stronger of the currency. So like Euro USD, AUSD, NZDUSD, expecting those pairs to continue south. I'm also in Euro Pound, which it hasn't been playing ball, to be fair. This one's just been very, very messy. Euro pound, I got into some shorts coming into this area here, had some really nice confluence, retested some key levels, also some good fib levels as well. Hopped into the hourly time frame on a nice rejection of that bearish engulfing stop loss with a bit more pips to the upside, just because we had a really strong impulse into that level. So just in case the market was going to see a little bit more upside, or give us some more wicks, I would have a slightly safer stop loss, slightly bigger stop loss than usual, just in case. But yeah, since I've entered this trade, the market has just been moving sideways, unfortunately. It's a good sign. It does mean that the momentum from all this bullish impulse has been depleted, and the market just kind of in equilibrium right now, getting ready to either break to the upside or break to the downside. But it's a good sign because momentum has depleted. But yeah, it's a good area of confluence, and I'm looking for a move back down to the downside here for Euro pound. First target, I'm looking at pushing to this level there, and finding a push back to the lows. Very, very simple, just looking to play with that structure. Again, this is a bit more of a counter trend trade. The market is a little bit bullish on the higher time frames here, but Euro pound is quite a fluctuative. Is that a word? It fluctuates a lot, pair. So yeah, I'm looking to see if we can capitalize on a move to the downside here, at least to that level, and then I'll see if we can get to this to the second TP. And yeah, I mean, those are the two main trades. I mean, those are the two pairs I'm trading. I'm also looking at Euro USD. I'm also looking at AUD CAD. Did miss some AUD CAD shorts as well. Yesterday, hopped into Euro pound roughly the same time that AUD CAD was forming. So I was looking for the test of the level. This would have been the entry. I'm hoping to see if we can come up one more time and kiss that level. That'd be very, very nice. If AUD CAD can do that for me, just one more push and then get the sell off. I'm looking at AUD CAD coming back down to these lows here as well. You can see the consistent lower highs ever since 25th of January, 26th of January. The market's just been printing these consecutive lower highs. I'm just looking for all of this basically to continue and retest the prior major low, which gave us this big run to the upside. So all I can see here for AUD CAD is more downside. Hopefully you can see a push into 0.90500. And this is kind of what I'm looking at for AUD CAD. And the push into those lows is my preferred setup. Whether we get that retracement or not is up to AUD CAD, but that's definitely the level that I will look to trade from. If we don't get there, I'll just classify it as a missed opportunity. That's what I'm looking for. And a very similar opportunity in Euro USD as well. Coming back into the resistance here. It's been a very sluggish downtrend for Euro USD, but a downtrend it has been. And I'm looking for us to push into these lows here as well, 1.05. So I'm liking the momentum that suddenly crept back into Euro USD, even though this to the upside and to the downside. All this price action was very, very corrective. I wasn't a big fan, but we've picked up some momentum, and if we can get a double top there, I would be interested to pick it up again. Depends what happens with pound USD. But things look good here. I will be tempted to pick up that short there if we can get to that level. If not, again, it might be another trade that might sell without me as well. I'm keeping an eye on the yen pairs. I'm not really looking to do too much with them. I feel like the yen pairs are on a little bit of a limbo. They might be looking to turn bearish. They are currently still bullish. You're still consecutive higher highs and higher lows. If I go in pound yen, euro yen, CAD yen, all I'm still seeing is higher highs and higher lows. But they're in a little bit funny places, especially pound yen. Pound yen, it looks like it could be going not necessarily bearish, but at least have a deeper retracement. On the stream, I was pointing out some of these levels here the market could pull back into. We've got these consecutive higher lows, 1, 2, and 3. So these levels here could be nice places to buy from. I'll see how price reacts with the level. But we have been forming these lower highs in the lower time frames. As we can see, we had the original high up there, and the lower high. Looks like the market's printing another one. So it's not the best sign for pound yen, but it does mean I would expect more downside, and then we'll see how price reacts with 162,600 and 161,500. Possibly could be some nice buys back up again. But I will have to see how price reacts. If it's not clean, I'll probably discard it and move on to another pair. But yeah, I mean, the dollar pairs are interesting. I'm still pretty bullish on the dollar pairs. Pairs like USD CAD's a little bit corrected now, so I'm not really interested in buying it anymore. AUSD, it's a little bit corrective. It's kind of consolidating that area. I prefer AUD CAD. AUD USD and AUD CAD are similar pairs as well. So I think most of my attention will just remain on AUD CAD anyway. USDJPY didn't quite retest the level I was looking for the retest of, came pretty close. This was the high I was looking for the retest on. A few wicks, and price looks like it's finding some steam to the upside. So yeah, my main job for the rest of the week is kind of just eye up Aodu CAD and basically just manage my trades I'm currently in. Are there any pairs you guys are looking at? I've seen a few comments. I'm not too sure where I hopped into the stream. Hyped Full Effects, what is up? Hope you're doing good. The guy, what is up? Hope you're doing good. Okay. ADCAD, we just had a look at that one. Gold, we'll take a look as well. NAS 100. CGFJPY. CGFJPY, I actually missed a short on CGFJPY. I was actually looking to get short on that one. Can't remember what I was doing, but I missed a short. I'll go over that in a second. But I'll take a look at gold, NAS, and CGFJPY. So gold's been quite popular, being recommended quite a lot on my stream. I'm not really a fan of gold, to be honest. The structure's a little bit corrective. We have bounced on a really key level, 1800, 1810, which was a level I was talking about last week. So this big boy here, so really nice support resistance. We are bouncing on that level quite nicely, but it's nothing that will tempt me into any buys yet. I need to see some more signs of reversals. We could be putting in maybe an inverse head and shoulder. It's a bit of a reach right now, but you can see the left ahead, possible right shoulder could be forming. This would be, kind of our neckline, so to speak. And then if we can get some higher lows above that, sure, I would, definitely be looking to long gold if something like this could form on that next higher low. But yeah, we're a long way from that. So gold could be something potentially I'll look at next week. But this week I'll have to leads anyway. Okay, so this week anyway, for gold, the market's still printing lower lows and lower highs. So I would have to favor sells. So coming back up again to 1844, 1845, you might find some nice trades there to go back down on the second test of that level, maybe on like the hourly 30-minute stop loss above the zone. Something like this could be a decent idea for gold. I'm not the biggest fan. Like I said, it's quite corrective. It's not really a healthy trend anymore. So it's nothing that I personally will look to trade in my personal trading. But from an analytic point of view, just focusing on the market structure, I'm seeing low lows and low highs, so I would favor sells. And this is our prior high in the market. We've already respected it once. If we come back and again respect it again, naturally that will be a good place to look to play some shorts, stop loss above the zone. And if we break structure, we might actually be looking at some buys coming into next week for gold. But yeah, that's the best I've got now. Personally, I'm waiting to see if we can break some structure higher. Okay, so US 100, this one's slowly descending to the downside. I'm actually looking for a big push to the downside for these indices back down to these lows here. I'm zooming out and looking at the higher time frame structure. I'm seeing consecutive low highs. We had the main high up there, next low high, and I'm looking at this one being the next low high after this one. I was expecting this to be the lower high and then price continue, but it failed. We did push up higher one more time, kind of double bottomed out or maybe even triple bottomed out. But the main structure is still intact. This major lower high is still intact. We've kind of had a maybe 0.618 retracement from that. So yeah, as far as I can see from a daily standpoint anyway, maybe it might change in different time frames. From a daily standpoint, I'm looking at not just NAS, but other indices too. Coming back down to these lows, US 30 and US 500 especially. So for US 100, I did say some sells up at this zone would be nice. Didn't quite test it, unfortunately. So with the new structure prices creating, if you can get a retest of this support level, this would be a nice little short idea. The market is kind of in the steady decline here since we formed this high on the 2nd of Feb. You can see consecutive lower highs ever since that has happened. The market has seen some nice rallies, some good momentum, but each time we've had that rally, we haven't taken out the prior high the market's printed. So it's a big sign that the buyers are fading, sellers are still holding firm, and obviously consistent lower lows as well. So for US 100, as long as we can maintain that structure, we don't take out the prior high, which would be this resistance here, we're expecting the next bullish move to be short-lived and the market to roll back over. So for NAS, 12K here, it looks like a really nice level. This was our last support level, moved to the upside and we broke through. So if you can retest that, possibly form the next lower high in this kind of the channel we're forming here, that could be a nice place to go short upon some confirmation, stop loss above the zone, and then you can pick and choose where you want to target. You can look at the price swing low. If that's going to be the low, there's some lows here on the left, that low there, and obviously you've got the higher time frame lows all the way down there if you're feeling really, really brave. So yeah, that's kind of my outlook on NAS. And CTFJPY, like I said, I missed a short trade on this one actually. So I would actually currently be short. I'm not sure if I would be in profit. Maybe, yeah, just about profit. This would be the entry candle. It's a very, very big entry candle. Stop loss would be over 100 pips. But again, I'm not really too afraid of having big stop losses because naturally speaking, my target's going to be big as well. And it would just take longer to play out. That's all it is. But for CTFJPY, we've come into a very interesting place. We've got a very key level of support here on the daily chart. So if I go to the left, big support, and now we're looking at that as resistance. We've also had this key trend line connecting the prior major swing highs in the daily. We've got one over here, second one over here, third one, and now potentially a fourth. So if we can hold this area, I would be expecting price to decline. I'm not too sure how far because higher time frames, weekly, monthly, price is still extremely bullish. So even though we're at a nice place, good confidence to sell, I wouldn't push the trade too far. So something like this is what I'd probably be targeting for the trade. Maybe a push into this area. Risk reward's not that favorable. Maybe at best, I'll probably look for a push into the resistance here, which is 142. So at the moment, bearish bias for CTFJPY. We're still holding key structure. You can see the market starting to double top out, really aggressive momentum. So I do expect some more downside for this one. If you're looking for entries, you probably want to wait for another push into that resistance level at 145.831. Safe place to put your stop loss. If you enter anywhere here, you do run the risk of price taking your stop loss before moving to the downside. So this level here looks good around 146. Target wise, you've got lows here, you got lows there, you got numerous targets. You can show your stop loss or target whichever level based on your I should invent the word there, to paste. You can pick a level whichever matches your plan. But yeah, CTFJPY, I'm a bear in that market. Okay, I'll take a look at natural gas. I'll take a look at natural gas. Love from Pakistan, nice, right back at you. Okay, I'll take a look at pound AUD. I did already took a look at Euro USD, so I'll go for a different pair. Pound AUD, I'm seeing Euro CAD as well. So I'll do natural gas, pound AUD, and also Euro Canadian. Okay, so yeah, natural gas, we're seeing some upside. I'm looking at a big reversal for this one. We had a really big climatic dump to the downside. This trend has been bearish for quite a while. As you can see here, if I zoom out, it's been very, very bearish, especially this, just that leg of the bearish trend. We have seen some healthy retracements, but since that kind of spillover back in December, middle December, I haven't really had a healthy correction. And I think that's what natural gas is probably going to be placing in now. So I'm bullish on this one. We've broken through some highs here. I really like the climatic move to the downside, followed by a big recovery, kind of like a V-shaped reversal here. So for natural gas, retracements is what you want to be looking for, and simply looking to buy it back to the upside. If you're on the lower time frames, you might squeeze, some of these higher lows here that the market's printing. Although I do not like that wick at all. If the markets maybe come back a little bit lower, retest some support, you might get another higher low formation. But I would advise, waiting for a retest of some structure would be a little bit better, safer stop loss, and overall just a stronger level of support resistance to trade from. So yeah, 2.6. This level here looks good. Even better would be this level here. I'm not too sure if we'll get there though. But either one of these levels look good to buy. I do expect to see some recovery from natural gas. We have capitulated over the past few weeks now. I do expect to see some recovery. We smash past this low. You might even see a retest of that low there, which is at 1.36. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a retracement into that level. So it could be actually some good buys for the next few days, next few weeks. Just need to wait for some good pullbacks, good healthy pullbacks, and look to buy it further upon some confirmations. Okay, so I'll take a look at pound AUD and euro CAD. So pound AUD was actually a pair that I was looking at the start of the week. I missed the opportunity. I was being a little bit hopeful to see some retracement for this one, but price absolutely launched the upside at the start of the week. This was my analysis coming into the week, looking for 1.79570. And as you can see, price didn't even retrace. It just was a bullish candle on the open, and price just continued higher. I was looking for a move down lower. It was a little bit optimistic for retracement down there, but it was the area with the most confidence for my strategy. So, see if I get the trade or I don't. But yeah, I still do have higher targets. Let me go back to. Feel free to check out my trading view, by the way. Links in the description. This is not my description. If you go check out my channel, you'll find the link to my trading view there. But yeah, pound AUD, we're looking for a push back to these highs. So it's hit the first target, 1.795. And now it looks like we're tracing. So I said this morning, buyers could be looking good at this level here at 1.77460, 450. However, we need to see a good shift in momentum here. The market has kind of spilled over quite aggressively, and unless price recovers quite drastically, I would actually expect this level to break. We've already had one bounce, was short-lived. The market's coming back down again. If we can see a good change of momentum, preferably break through some of these lower highs on the left or those candlesticks, that could be a nice little buy signal. If you can get a strong bullish engulfing, keep it simple, back to those highs. Potentially, if you're feeling a little bit brave, you want to push the trade further, we might go to 1.82. Yeah, I'm not liking how the entry is developing here. So if we can see a good, strong bullish engulfing, show us that momentum is shifting from the bears back to the bulls, show us good signs that the level is holding. Sure, longs look good here for pound AUD, but at the moment it's a little bit too early to say. So pound AUD is trading at a good level. I have a bullish bias for this one. We'll be expecting some higher low to form around these areas, but confirmation is important because right now the bears are still winning that battle and we could actually break through the level. We might have a deeper retracement to some of these levels here, which will still look good to go long from. These levels down here will still look good to go long from, but we just want to not make this mistake of getting to the trade too early. Okay, so EuroCAD will have a look-see as well. Yes, I am a swing trader, swing intra-week trader. Did you go over yen? I went over some yen pairs, CHF, JPY. Is that the JPY pay? Yeah, I looked at pound yen as well. Euro yen, didn't look at this one, but euro yen I'm not really the biggest fan of, to be honest. It's kind of in a weird area, and by weird I mean it's at an area where I'm currently bullish. I'm currently bullish in euro yen because of the structure, high highs and high lows, but it's an area where we could potentially form a lower high in reference to this price swing high up here. Because if you look at the structure here, as the market has been declining to the downside, this was our lower high, which gave us this huge move to the downside. Coming into that vicinity where we might actually start be looking to form that lower high. So I don't necessarily want to keep buying this bullish market, even though yes, we do have some good structure. It's just not in the most probable area that I can be looking for longs. So I'd rather be long down here, taking profit there, rather than trying to get into the long trade. I think a really good situation, good scenario which could develop if we actually get a break of structure to the downside, something like this, and then catch some lower highs back down. I think that would be a really nice trade. So yeah, euro yen, it's in an area where we might start to see some downsides. So I'm not really too eager to keep buying this bullish trend. And the fact that we've seen some heavy sells there is also not a good sign too. So yeah, if euro yen, I'm kind of just watching the pair right now. I don't necessarily have a bullish bias because of the structure, but it's nothing that I'm looking to trade. I'm just going to be waiting on the sidelines for that one for a bit more development. Let me take a look at EuroCAD. I did say look at EuroCAD. EuroCAD, where are you? There you are. Okay, so yeah, EuroCAD has been a pair that I've just been sitting back and not doing anything because this is a very messy market. As you can see, this is consolidation. It does look like a potential head and shoulder could be forming. So that does, spike my interest, but I need the break of the neckline. If you can break through this neckline here, I do think we'd be onto a really good opportunity and we could be seeing EuroCAD decline over the next kind of few weeks, even a couple months, depending how far it goes. But we've had this really, really big surge to the upside. And if we do get a big reversal, I would expect us to come back down to where we came from, 1.36, 1.35. So that does interest me a lot for EuroCAD. That does interest me. Right now, I wouldn't really be a big advocate of trading it because, like I said, we're within that bigger range, and trading in the middle of the range is for me a no trade zone, no man's land. It's just very, very indecisive, and that's where price has its most fluctuations in the middle of a range, even though a range represents indecision within itself. So it's just not a good place to buy from. We do have that high there, which price looks like it might be breaking back underneath. So yeah, I'm kind of just staying away and waiting to see if that head and shoulder pattern will form. It's looking good. We've had this big surge to the upside, all that momentum, and straight away the market's coming back down just as heavy. So it's a big sign that, okay, the buyers are unsuccessful, the sellers are coming back strong, and maybe we are forming a right shoulder here for that bigger reversal. So I'm interested to see how this one plays out. In terms of trades within it, I'm not really seeing any high probability trades right now. So yeah, to be honest, this is a pair that I'm not really focused on, waiting for some further PA, more price action. And yeah, most importantly, that head and shoulder pattern that forms now will definitely be on the watch list. I'll just be looking for the pullbacks, get some good confluence. Hopefully you can ride that down and probably get 2-3 trades on the way down. Okay, so pound seat chef, US 30. Okay, we'll take a look at those pairs, no problemo. US 30. So yeah, US 30, another indice. I'm looking at similar price action to US 100, US 500. I do prefer those, I have to say. US 100 and US 500. I do prefer those on the daily and just throughout all the time frames. US 30 is trading at some key support and currently is bouncing from that. We've had this major lower high here on the left for US 30, which the market has been bouncing on, bouncing its head on quite a lot, and essentially just failed to break through. So for US 30, I do think a big decline is on our way, if my analysis serves me well. But we do need to break through the support level, 32,600. So what I can see for US 30 is possibly maybe a short-term bounce to the upside. This is still my favored area to short from 33,500. If you can get a retest of that structure there, that would definitely interest me for some shorts. Key support 1, 2, broke with a lot of momentum, never got the retest of. We might possibly push up, form a lower high, and then get the big rollover to the downside. We'll whip out the old Fibonacci. You can see we do line up with the 50% there. So we've got some really good confluence at that zone. Now, I'm not too sure if we actually will see that pullback. It is quite a hefty pullback if we're going to see that move. You might just come and tap some resistance up here and then sell off. So I'll probably keep an eye on 33,200. But 33,400 is definitely my preferred area to look to trade from. And targets, long-term down here, but short-term, obviously back to where we came from, and you've got some lows here on the left. You can look to target as well, or how you would manage your trade normally. So in terms of bias, I still do have a short bias here, maybe some short-term buys, yes, but I'm definitely a bear looking at the higher time frames and taking that information lower. And we'll take a look at pound CHF, pound Swiss. Where are you? There you are, pound CHF. So pound CHF, bearish bias again. We have this kind of wedge pattern here. Market forming some really nice lower highs and some equal lows coming down into the support level. So I'm actually looking for us to potentially retest the structure again and then get the sell-off. I remember someone was asking me about pound CHF last week on the stream. And I said I wasn't really too much of a fan of it. We were trading around here, and I said this is not really the good area to be trading from. You want to be trading at the highs or the lows. You want to be trading at the extremes. Here, you've got a lot of indecision. Price has got a chance of going up and down, whereas here, the chance of price going down is a lot higher than it going up, and the same down there. So always make sure you're trading the right places. In the middle of ranges, middle of patterns is just never really a good place. In general, not to say they can't win a trade there, but in general, it's just not a good place. So yeah, pound CHF 1.35. It's a really nice area. If I take this across, you can see really nice resistance and support there as well. So yeah, a retest of that level, double top it out there, that'll be nice. And yeah, a nice little swing back down to where we came from, back to 1.11. I mean, this whole pattern is just price kind of just building up for a move up or move down, and we should have to be patient to see which way price is going to go. But yeah, that's kind of my outlook for Pound Seat Chef. And we have come up to the end of the stream. Well, not end of the stream. The stream is still continuing, stay put. But Marko will be coming on. But yeah, thank you so much to A1 Trading and Trade Nick for having me on the stream. I'm pretty sure they've left the link to my channel there. So if you want to see more of my content, feel free to hop over and check it out. But nonetheless, thanks so much for having me on the stream, and over to Marko.
Okay, hello guys, let me check if my mic is working. Yeah, looks to be working, cool. So, gonna share the screen right now. Trading view, as always. Here it is. Any questions, put them in the chat. So I will answer the questions as we go, and after I go through my 6 pairs. So basically my 6 pairs are EU, EJ, Aussie dollar, Aussie yen, pound, and New Zealand Japanese yen. I do have an order on for EJ currently. So I do have a pending order. Let me see if I maybe got tagged in. No, so still pending order. This is not a signal, by the way, so please don't go into a sell right now. So only take trades that actually fit your plan and that you have back tested. I will go over my methodology. So basically, here is my order, 12 pip stop loss. But first, let's do euro and US dollar. EU, as a trend trader, I'm not really seeing any potential here. The only potential was right here after this nice large impulse. But unfortunately, I did not get a clean entry pattern. Instead, I got the momentum shift to a downside. So if I want to be buying as a trend trader, I'm looking for a nice blue trend. I don't want to be seeing large red candles, which is exactly what I saw here. And that kind of made me stay out of any buy setup here. So other than that, no setup for me. Basically broke the low, retraced, and I'm expecting a range right now. Tomorrow is NFP, I believe, so tomorrow I will not be trading after 8 a.m. London Open. That's just something I do. So basically, I'm waiting for a next week, and I'm waiting for a nice trend up or a nice trend to the downside. Basically, I want to see price move away from this current structure, so move away from this area. Let me check if there are any questions. So, okay, so no questions currently. We will see in a bit. Next one is Euro Japanese yen. So as I said, I do have a pending short order on. And let me run through my thinking. So at this point, what I'm seeing is I'm seeing a clear range in this area. So I'm seeing a clear range and then ascending. Basically, price is struggling to go up, breaking the highs, retracing, breaking the highs, retracing. And I know that this area above and possibly area below, but here I'm focusing on the area above, is full of stops. Why? Well, because I know when retail traders see these large red candles, most of them are selling and they keep their stops, possibly selling the reversal, maybe on the 4 hour. So I trade only the 1 hour chart. So I'm looking at the 1 hour price action, basically selling right here or right here or right here, keeping their stops above the high. And then market makers tap into their stops, tap into the liquidity area, stop them out, and reverse the price in the opposite direction. So this sort of a pattern is super high probability to actually start trending in the opposite direction because of the liquidity takeout, basically. So because of the liquidity takeout here, I'm really expecting this to move down, especially after seeing this strong momentum. What do I mean by strong momentum? I mean a large candle like this one, which is bigger than almost every candle prior to that. So that is a clear indication of big players selling the market. So at this point, I did not want to get in on a straight up reversal because I wanted to see one more push. But then what happened? We pulled back a bit, and the next candle broke with some high momentum to the downside. So basically, this next candle also shows me momentum. How do I know? Again, do it like this and just compare it to every other candle here. It's kind of either as big or bigger than every single candle prior. Definite momentum down. So what I'm seeing now is an established trend to the downside, and I'm seeing a really good potential for this to continue trending, and I want to get in on a break and a retest of this level right here, which is my inside bar. This is a pair characteristic which I noticed with the Euro Japanese yen. The inside bar tends to be like a magnet, and usually price just taps the inside bar and drops. So it's a really good area to have a pending order, but currently I don't think I'm tagged in. I have to check my MetaTrader. So yeah, definitely a really good setup, but don't take it as a signal, because if it loses, which most of my trades lose, I have around 20 to 30% win rate, then you're gonna knock your head against the wall for listening to me. So again, only take trades that actually follow your plan and that you have backtested. For me, I have backtested this sort of setup. I know that, let's say, it wins 30 to 40% of the time, but the winners are huge and the losers are limited to 1% or a 13 pip stop loss. That is what trading looks like. So what I'm looking for now is, of course, to get tagged in or for a bigger push here and then another, just a sec, or for a bit of a bigger push here and then another entry pattern, either a flag or a break and a retest. So if this continues down, I will still be looking to get in on a sell. So if this takes me out for a loss, which can definitely happen, I'm expecting a range bound market here. I'm expecting something like this. We shall see what will happen. So waiting to see the price develop. Aussie US dollar heavily range bound. And also let me just run through some entry areas. If some of you trade flag patterns, there was a flag here. So first there was this reversal. We had an ascending structure. Usually after an ascending, we expect a reversal, but this was on Tuesday when I'm expecting more range-bound price action. So I wanted to see a bigger break here. So that was the first setup I stayed out of. I didn't take it and it would have been a loss. So good that I followed the plan. Second setup was right here. Basically a flag. So a flag formed, but for me, after the wick, I want to see a bit of a range. So basically this was not enough of a range for me and didn't fit my plan. Again, a 1% loss, which I managed to avoid, thankfully. And yeah, that's about it for the setups on EJ. But this one I like. This one fits my plans, so I do have a pending order on. AU, no setups. I mean, just looks range bound. If you squeeze the price, it's just stuck in this area. So I'm waiting for a breakout to the upside or to the downside. So I'm waiting for more price action. We will see what will happen. Tomorrow I'm not trading, so I don't think anything will develop for the rest of the day, but I'm looking for a large impulse up or a large impulse down. One thing to note though, it is looking kind of descending, so it can go up, but then again, it's just stuck in a range. So any sort of ascending, descending that happens inside of a range usually does not play out the way we want it to play out. Aussie Japanese yen, heavily range bound, so stuck in a large sideways range. No potential for me. I wasn't looking for any sort of a trade. So this is really bad price action for us trend traders. For a range bound trader, it may be worth taking, buying the bottoms, selling the tops. But to be honest, I don't know any range bound forex trader that is actually making money. Maybe that's just me, but I know most traders are trading the trend and making money that way. So just a little side note. What I'm looking for is, of course, a large impulse up, a flag or a break and they retest. Or I'm looking for a large impulse down, a flag or a break and they retest. Those are the only two entry patterns that I trade. let's check the comments. Let me see if there is anything. Okay, so we got some comments, I believe. Aussie CHF, we will take a look at it a bit later. USDJPY continue its uptrend. We shall see a bit later after I finish the forecast. Trading Euro USD sell. Okay, we will take a look at all of these a bit later. And let's now continue. So moving on. Next one is the pound. The pound I need to see a large impulse on. Basically, the pound is tricky. It's a bit tricky to trade, so I'm looking for large impulses. I did have a trade here. It was a loss, unfortunately. So right here, what I was seeing is I was seeing basically a nice impulse up from a descending. So this is what I'm talking about, that after a descending, we expect an uptrend. We expect the price to reverse. It did reverse, and we got a nice uptrend, nothing fancy, but looks okay. Then this pullback, but key is no momentum shift in the pullback. Price continues, one candle pullback and continues again. Order is on for a break and they retest. Basically, why is no shift in momentum in a trend very important? Because if you're buying, you don't want to be selling. You don't want to be seeing selling pressure. Selling pressure looks like this: consecutive large red candles. So this is not some strong selling pressure. This is just a pullback in my personal view. And then we continue with nice candles. Again, these two red candles I can ignore because I'm seeing large momentum, and prior to that I'm seeing high probability prior price action, which is very important for me, that the prior price action looks good. Price continues. Okay, close, prints a bit of a wick, but I'm not concerned because when the prior price action looks high probability to go up, I can tolerate some warning signs such as this bit of a wick, but the pullback is very nice. The smaller the pullback, the higher the chance is for the price to tap you in and continue. So this is just a one candle blue pullback, really good stuff. Got taken in, then went into some profit, but then got taken out for the full 1% loss, unfortunately. I don't use a fixed take profit. I just use a fixed stop loss, and I use a trailing stop loss rule. Why? Well, because the key in trading is minimize the losses, maximize the winners. So I want to maximize the winners by trailing the stop loss and capturing as much as the mechanical rule allows me from a trade. If I go 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 fixed risk to reward, that just the profits will not be enough to cover the losses. I may be profitable, but then you have commissions and fees. So it's much better to have the winners uncapped. So you can get maybe a 10R, 20R, 25R winner and have the losers capped at 1R or 1%. That's much more profitable technique, in my opinion, than just having a fixed 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 risk to reward. But it all depends on how you trade, and it all depends on what your win rate is. So took a loss here. Then price broke the low, retraced, broke the low again, retraced. So I'm not seeing what I want to be seeing. I want to see a nice uptrend. This was a nice uptrend. This is just descending price action. So this is just descending. I kind of expect this to actually reverse back to the upside. So I'm just being a lot more patient. If this continues, sure, I'll look to sell, but I need to see a nice large impulse, especially on this pair. But if it goes up, I'll look to buy. So it all depends on the evidence I get in the next week. I don't believe today I will get any opportunity. NJ is the final pair on the list, which I trade live. So I trade only 6 pairs live. This one I also had an order on here, but then I removed it because I misread the price action. First I put an order on, got taken in, but then managed to get out for a break even. I misread this candle actually broke the prior candle's high and the low of the whole structure. So that signals a range. That signals a range. As a trend trader, if I get a signal of a range, that's pretty bad and I want to avoid it. So this was no longer a clear pattern to buy, and I did place the take profit on the break even to try to get out, and I managed to get out on this candle for a break even, or on this candle, not sure. So yeah, that was good. Then what did we get? Well, we got the range. So exactly what I thought was going to happen after misreading the price action, after noticing that this candle broke the high and the low. I expected a range, which is exactly what happened. So now I'm waiting for an impulse up or an impulse down. So I'm just being more patient with this pair also. To summarize, let's see. So EU, range bound, EJ, I am looking to get in. Maybe I'm taken in right now. Nope, still not in, I believe. So for me, EJ is the only one with potential. I mean, Aussie pairs are heavily range bound. The pound, I don't know why TradingView keeps doing this. I delete the drawings and then it prints them back. Well, they need to fix TradingView. Pound, yeah, not seeing enough momentum, and NJ ain't looking that good right now. Not bad, but not seeing that impulse which I want to see to get in. Let's do the questions. Okay, so big money on AUSD CAD. Let's do AUSD CAD. Let's see where the big money is on the AUSD CAD. Disclaimer, I don't trade it live. Big money wants the price to go up. So if I take a look at the magic ball, I would say this is going up. But what I actually mean is that the percentage is for this to go up. So I believe it is a 70 to 80% chance that this will trend up because I'm seeing a descending channel. Usually when you see a descending channel, there is like a 70 to 80% chance that price will start trending up. And then any setup that happens in the uptrend is high probability because, again, you expect the price to go up. So no one knows. Markets go up, markets go down. You just know that over 100 cases of this descending, 70 of them went up, 30 of them ranged or went down. So that's the only thing that we know. Read the Quran. Yeah, sure, I'll read the Quran, no problem. But not now, we don't have time. Can you analyze pound AUSD in weekly and daily? Yeah, sure. Okay, so this one, range bound here, I'm not seeing any potential if you're a trend trader. So I'm just seeing a ascending into descending. It went from a descending structure actually. So I would be more patient. I would just leave this pair alone, to be honest. This pair ain't looking that good. Yeah. So next one. Weekly and daily. Yeah, I'm sticking only to the 1 hour chart. Yeah, sorry about that, but I just don't look at other chart. Gold. Yep. Gold. 1 hour gold. Just a disclaimer: the strategy I trade is awful on gold. It just doesn't work. So my reading of price action just doesn't work on this pair because it just moves erratically. So it basically, like you see here, drops, ranges, drops, ranges, drops, ranges. So that's not something that I know how to trade. I know how to trade clean trends. This to me is not a clean trend. This is more like support and resistance trading, which is why most support and resistance traders thrive on the gold. But I can still give my analysis. I'm seeing a range bound price action here. So what I'm seeing an ascending structure going into a descending structure. I'm expecting more of this range bound PA. So what I would do if I'm a trend trader, look for a push up or a push down, or trade support and resistance. Learn support and resistance if you want to trade gold. Gold, CAD CHF. Sure, CAD CHF. Oof, this one looks very range bound, very range bound. So loads of wicks on the bottoms, on the tops of the range. I'm expecting more of this range bound price action. What I would look for is for the price to move away from the area, push up, or a nice push down, something like this. And yeah, I would not touch this. As a trend trader on the 1 hour, I would not touch it with a stick. Okay. USDJPY. Yep, USDJPY. This one. So range bound. A range bound for me personally, it just needs to move away from this area. So trading is a game of patience. 70% of the time, or even more, I would say even more, the markets are heavily range bound. 30% of the time they are trending. This is a nice trend. This is a nice trend. So this part right here. This is not really a nice trend. This is a nice push. This, not really that nice. This is a nice push up right here. So that's what I'm looking for. What I'm seeing right now is I'm seeing flat price action. It ain't moving up, it ain't moving down. It's trying to break out here, fails, failing currently. You can see huge red candles, so currently failing. Ain't looking good. I would look for a large impulse up or a large impulse down. So that's about it for USDJPY. Aussie CAD sell. Aussie CAD sell. You are in a sell at 0.92613. 992. Oh, so you're up there somewhere. Okay. My suggestion for take profit. So I use a fixed mechanical trailing stop loss. Basically, I would have been out right here. If I was in a sell somewhere from here, my trailing stop loss, as far as I can see from the highs and the lows, I would get taken out here, but I would extend the stops because of spreads. This was market open. So either I would get taken out here or here. So it's up to you, man. Whichever way you have backtested, that you should stick to that. I really cannot give you a suggestion because I would have already been taken out with my mechanical stop loss rule. So it's up to you. But if it's running in good profit, I would close it before NFP, because NFP, what you usually get is you get a move like this. So the buyers get or the sellers get taken out and the buyers get taken out. Everyone gets taken out. So you kind of don't want to risk it in NFP. I would close it for NFP. That's just one of the things I also do. I don't trade NFP. We tend to find volatile price action. Okay, moving on. Euro pound. Sure, let's do it. Euro pound. Oh, looks good. I like it. So it ain't looking that bad. This just may be a pause before it continues up. So this is a nice option, definitely. What do I like about this price action? First thing I like, descending channel. After a descending channel, I'm expecting price to go up. So I'm expecting the price to reverse, which is exactly what we got. Push up, pull back, push up, pull back, push up, pull back, push up. And this is now a wider pullback. No NFP tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I have to check my dates. But I do think NFP is tomorrow. It's usually on the first Friday of the month, isn't it? Have to check. Okay. Non-farm payroll, by the way. So why do I like it? Descending, push up. And do you see any big red candles in this price action? I don't. Basically, Oh, the 10th this month. Oh, cool. Then I'm wrong. So I just thought it was the first Friday every month. I guess some Fridays it changes. Well, then I'm still trading Fridays. Looks like it. Going back to Euro Pound, you can see, is there a huge red candle anywhere here? I don't see one. So this is nice momentum to the upside. And I would look to buy on this uptrend. Okay, there is a bit of a shift here, but did it continue? It kind of didn't. So this is the only red candle that is concerning. But I would look for, if this continues, I would look to buy. What you have is you have many confluences that this will continue trending. You have a descending, you have a nice trend up. And yeah, you do have a bit of a liquidity area here. What do I mean by that? Well, the traders trading the range on the, let's say, the 5-minute, 15-minute, 1-minute, they keep their stops above. So the first breakout candle, don't do anything with the first breakout candle. Wait for the price to either continue or retrace. So wait for the second candle to continue. Because if you backtest it, and you should backtest it, the first breakout candle usually fails. Usually fails because this area is, again, full of liquidity. So it doesn't look that bad, this pair, but watch out how we break the high. If you're a trend trader, if you're looking to buy. Okay, how to find a good trend and not a good trend. How a trend should look like. Okay, good question. How does a good trend look like? This is a good trend. Why? Well, because there are mostly blue candles. The pullbacks are short. No big red candles. So we have 3 criteria, I would say. Large blue candles, clean closes on most of the candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Clean close, clean close, clean close, clean close means no wick. That's the first thing we need. Second thing, small pullbacks. 1, 2, 3 candles before it breaks the high. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 candles before it breaks the high. 1, 2, 2 candles before it breaks the high. So if there is around maybe 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 candles in the pullback, that's a good sign price will continue. This is now like a 20 or 30 candle pullback. So this is a slowdown. This you don't want to be seeing. Third thing we need, no huge red candles. Red candle, but look at the size. Look at the size of the red candle. Is it bigger than the blue candles? I would say it's not. These ones, are they bigger than the blue candles? I would say they are not. This one is definitely really small. So 3 things: large blue candles, small number of candles in the pullbacks, and small red candles. What's a bad type of a trend, you might ask? Well, let me try to find it. This is a bad type of a trend. So it's moving down. No arguing with that. Definitely moving down. But do we have large red candles? We do. We have the first thing we need. We have large red candles with clean closes. Second thing we need, small amount of candles in the pullback. We don't have that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe even 10 candles here. Here. 10 candles again. Here. 10 candles, maybe even more. Here also. So we don't have the second part. And then the third part, small blue candles, because if we are selling, we want to see small blue candles. Nope. We have blue candle bigger than almost all of the red candles. Here. As big or bigger than the red candles. So we don't have 2 of our 3 needed confluences for a nice uptrend. That would be it for the explanation. So unfortunately, we have run out of time, but next week, definitely tune in the forecast. Have a great week, guys. Have a great trading week. So for my 6 pairs, only EJ is on my radar. Thank you, A1 Trading, for the opportunity to live stream, and I will see you guys in the next week. Good luck.
Thanks again for watching today's show. Our goal at A1 Trading is to continue to share free value to our audience through daily videos and articles. keeping you up to date with the latest market coverage. If you enjoyed our content, make sure to subscribe for more. And remember, if you open a $1,000 or more trading account with 8cap, you'll receive a free copy of the Edge Finder. Click the link in the description below to find out more. From all of us at A1 Trading, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.